954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Hello, and welcome back once again to Valley Grown. I'm Melvi, and thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome, and hope that we will make you feel at home. Let's grow together because we love growing from each other. In tonight's topic, we hope that everyone at any age, at any given point of time in your lives, you will be able to relate to this life's experience. Why? Because sometimes when we feel at home somewhere, somehow, it's hard to say goodbye. And journey is not about destination, but it's a home where we can find peace in our hearts. So, welcome back. And before we dive into our topic discussion, let me go ahead and share my highs, or they will share their highs and hellos and their greetings as well. And this time, I want you guys to know them much better. Jill, Caitlin, and Melanie, other than introducing yourselves, please share with us what are some fun facts about you, or what are some of your favorite hobbies? Go ahead, Jill. Start.
I would say two of my favorite fun facts, a lot of people already know, is I have a 100-pound German Shepherd. She's my companion. And I love sports. So maybe not a lot of people know that about me, but I am a huge football and basketball and baseball fan. So yes, those are the facts.
I love sports. I also love to watch sports, just like you. Caitlin, what about you?
Hi, everyone. A fun fact about me is that I strictly play string instruments. I play the violin, the ukulele, and the guitar. I haven't been practicing as much as I wanted to, but it's my goal this year to just practice a little bit more so I can get a bit better.
Wow, I like music as well, and I'm actually practicing how to play the ukulele at the moment.
I'll give you lessons.
One day I'll be able to play with in front of the camera and during one of our shows. How about you, Melanie?
Hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. My name is Melanie, and I'm coming to you live from Visalia, California. One fun fact about me is I do know to play guitar with some songs, simple chords, and I also know how to play the drum set.
Wow. Oh, yes, that's
I
right.
actually had been in like a girl band back in high school. When back in the day, it's like rock and roll, No, but yeah, that's one thing that I used to do, and I'm not sure if I can still do it, but we'll see. I'm sure it's like riding a bicycle.
I would love to hear you play the drums again. I have heard you before. So she's absolutely right. Now, last week we talked about the 5 pillars during our pilot episode, and Jill gave us a lot of good insight why these characteristics are so important in our lives. And today's topic actually I'll be bringing that in during our topic discussion, because it's what we need to consider in order not only to better our lives, but to make better decisions. Now, I know that the topic is all about leaving the valley. If you were born here or raised here or have lived here all your lives, listeners and viewers out there, please engage with us because we would love to also hear your own personal story. So go ahead and post it on the comment. Have you ever left the valley? And if so, what is the reason? And if you came back, let us also know because we would love to hear it from you. Now, I know among all of us, there are two of us actually who I think already experienced leaving the valley. And yes, I am one of them. I've left once and then came back. Jill left 4 times and then she came back. Caitlin, still undecided because she's still young. She's still trying to figure out life. But I think she'll share with us later on what her insights will be. And Melanie, well, Melanie and I are actually sisters, and we came from the island called Guam. Teeny tiny island that you can go around the island for 2 hours. And when we moved here back in 2000, how many years is that now, Melanie, that we've been here? 26 years. So we go. Made the face. So yes, we go back way back when. And I'm sure she'll also share her own personal experiences. And my first question to everybody, including the panelists here, is what motivated you to make the move? And if you haven't moved, what will motivate you to make that big move? It's a big change. And I want Jill to answer this question first because she, among all 4 of us, has the most experience. Jill, could you please
I think before Jill
share
would
with us
answer
your
that,
personal? Huh?
I think before Jill would answer that,
Okay.
I
Yes.
would like to I want to remember because we had such a good show last week and we had a lot of audiences that gave their really great comments. I want to go
Mhm.
ahead and kind of bring some of those just to remind us of how good
Oh yeah.
the
Of course.
episode was and how Jill did really well at hosting that time. So I want to first acknowledge Veronica de la Rosa. One of her comments, she said, I hope this year's challenges come clear. I hope the more I'm present, the more I'm together. The best thing about growing with the challenges that continue, I'm going to become stronger faithfully. So I truly love that, Veronica. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? Have you guys noticed any of those comments from last week?
One of my favorite comments from last week that sticks out to me is from Kamiani, and he said, "Don't eat too much." So that is
I was thinking the same thing.
So,
Jill,
Oh,
yes.
every potluck, I'll be like watching him.
I think it was also Anna Heimbach. She mentioned something about she's doing a Tai Chi workout. I think, I don't know, did I pronounce that correctly? I've tried those workouts or exercises. They're amazing. So easy to do. So if you haven't done them, check them out.
Maybe we
They're
can
all
do
over.
that in one of these
Yes,
episodes.
absolutely. I know. I think we're going to have one episode that's all about working out. So I think Jill will be leading that one. Ooh, I'm so excited. Can't wait. How about you, Caitlin?
I think one of the comments that stood out to me was also from Ka Manuel Hatulan. He said, "Finance always observe the Christian way of budgeting." So I think that's a very important thing to know. And everyone just keep commenting. We're gonna try our best to acknowledge everyone's comments from this show and our previous show. So continue to comment, to like, and subscribe.
I know I saw Julia Whitman and we missed her for a couple of times. I know she's been busy, especially during the holiday season. So I saw her comment over here. She said, Happy New Year. And I've missed you guys. Oh, thank you, Julia. You too.
thank you. Welcome back. Happy New Year.
Welcome back. Happy New Year. Never too late, right? So, Jill, you can't dodge the question now. You're it. You're number one.
I
So go
tried.
ahead
I
and
really
share with us
tried.
your story.
I am actually very excited to talk about it. So I would say I've moved 4 times, and I've in those 4 times I've moved for 4 different reasons. And obviously I'm back, and I moved back for the same reason. But starting with reasons why I moved back. I moved in so many different phases of my life. Like I was 17, and then I was like it was after college, and I was in my mid 20s, and then again in my 30s, and then this most recent time a couple years ago. And each time I would say, or the first, since I was a little girl, I knew that I felt like I just needed to, like I wanted to live in a bigger city. And in Santa Maria, I knew as a young, growing up, it wasn't that big around here. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the population in Santa Maria specifically is probably less than 150,000 people. And just being exposed to traveling with my family, like going to LA and different cities, I knew that there was more outside of Santa Maria, and I felt like I just wanted to experience that. And that was something that was just ingrained in me. And I just felt like there was something, not so much like a void, but I just wanted more experiences. And so there are so many different other reasons why, but yeah, I would say that was the one that really stood out to me when growing up was I just wanted to experience more things.
You know, when you highlighted that experiences that we want to experience in our lives, especially when we're young, just like impulse shopping, we have the impulse of, oh, I just want to get out of here. I want to experience the city life. Valley life is boring. We've heard that over and over again. But journey is not about, again, I've mentioned this earlier, it's not about destination, but it's all in the mindset and what is in your heart. And if you have a purpose wherever you are, you'll make it happen for yourself. Now, Jill, I can relate to you because I also left due to, I want to experience life outside the valley. I wanted to experience the
Mhm.
city life. Since Melanie and I have experienced living in an island, and when we first moved here, it was almost like a culture shock for me. I mean, driving on the freeway, and here I am, like a turtle, driving 45 to 50 miles per hour because the max limit over there is 55, and everybody's just zooming like 80, 90 miles per hour. And I said, this is nerve wracking. I don't think I can do this. And we moved here. I was in my early 20s, and Melanie, I think, was only 18, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Melanie. But yes, it's hard. It's definitely hard because even when we were kids, we've been moving from one relocation to another, not
Mhm.
by choice, but because our parents our parents moved, and so therefore wherever they went, we went, and she and I had to learn how to adapt and be flexible and just accept the change. Now, Melanie, I'm going to go ahead and ask you this question. Could you share your own personal experiences? If
Yeah.
you ever struggled moving, how, like, if you felt what I felt, that you at first didn't want it, but then were somehow compelled to do it.
I think based from my experience, we moved. Of course, we're together as a family. But one of the things that I did decide when I decided back then was when after high school, I decided to move out into. I was in the Dagupan in the Philippines before. Then I moved to Baguio, which is a totally different city in the mountains in the Philippines. It's because of school. Because if you want to be able to have some really good job offers, they do look at your educational background and what school you attend to back then in the Philippines. And at the same time, I wanted to be in the medical field. And a school in Baguio or a university in Baguio offered that, which allows that opportunity. So that's one of the ways that I did move, besides moving with our parents due to job or occupational relocation. And then from then, I also experienced moving into Guam after a few years of college. I did get a little homesick because then everyone was already in Guam and I was still the only one back there in the Philippines. So that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to go to Guam. And then from Guam, we moved over here. And one thing is, I think from moving so many locations, you tend to also learn to, I think I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna be grounded in a certain place. And this is where I already met my husband, had my children, and I really love the valley. And that's the reason why I still love staying here. For whatever reasons, there's something about the valley, and it's maybe more because of preference. It's because I'm definitely more of a, I like the slow pace versus like the fast pace. Traffic for me would be an issue because I don't like having to stay in the road too long just to get to a 5 minute, without traffic. So that's why I love the valley. And you're gonna see me here for a while.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point. I think it's all about preference too. I think back
Mhm.
then, because we don't have traffic out here. I mean, we have the 101 and that's pretty much it. But then moving out into the city, I was like, oh, big city lights. I was excited. And then as I got older, I started, which is why I'm back also. It just all depends on the preference, because when I visited San Diego, I was like, oh, I never want to leave. I'm going to be here forever. I'm never going to move back home. There's no way. And then as I got older, like you said, like it's, the traffic started to get a little bit more inconvenient. inflation just goes up. And then now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, okay, I do appreciate being home. I appreciate the slow pace, but it all comes with experiences. We would have never known unless we actually branched out, literally
Yes.
into different cities and got those experiences.
You know, Jill, I'm wondering, how long were you gone for in the span of the 4 years that you left? How long were you gone total?
So the first time I left, I was 17 and moved up to Orange
Oh,
County,
wow.
Cal State Fullerton, and then came back when I was 21. And then I went to transferred to Cal Poly, moved out again. So I was in my mid 20s, mid 25. So I was, and then to San Diego. For the first time I went to San Diego, I was there for 4 years, came back during year 2020 or a little before that. And then moved back to San Diego after that because 2020 was a rough year here in the Central Coast. I can't speak for anybody else, but it was definitely a rough time for me. And I just felt like I needed to get away for a little bit. And San Diego was it. I loved my time there. And so being there, I would say, more than 10 years for sure.
Wow. So more than 10 years out of the valley.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I
And
wanna,
here you go. Yeah, go ahead, Melanie.
I want to read a comment here from one of our Vine chat. We have Flo Alejandro Guillermo.
Oh, hi, Manang Flo. Thank you for watching. Miss you. she's on Oregon satellite.
It was a long name. Moving from Hawaii was the best decision to Oregon. I do miss home. However, so many great opportunities. One of them was joining INCRadio. I love that because you mentioned, Melvi, earlier with regards to if you have a purpose. I think that definitely is important.
Now I'm wondering, our youngest host, Caitlin.
Don't leave, Caitlin. We need you.
I'm just wondering, would there be any chance or would something actually motivate you to move? Now, before you answer that, I know in life circumstances, and I know that some of our viewers are either probably in the military, in the ministry, or maybe due to job or other opportunities, they had to move. And just what you read from what Manang Flo said, or Sister Flo said, about opportunities, sometimes we do grab that in order to give also ourselves a chance and see how it feels to be able to not only learn but to also grow. That's why we're branching out, right? We're trying to learn, because the minute we continuously learn, that's how our horizons expand. And with that expansion, if you think about it, the possibilities are endless. Now, Caitlin, we're wondering, what is your answer? What would motivate you to move, or are you already maybe in your heart set in the valley?
Truthfully, I haven't been speaking a lot because I just don't have the life experience to say that I have left the valley. I lived in Delano up until I was 8 years old. And then from when I was 8, I moved to Bakersfield. It's just a 30-minute drive. And for me, honestly, I don't think I've felt fully motivated to leave the valley. I've had moments where I wonder what life would be like somewhere else. Like when I was applying for different colleges, I applied to Channel Islands, LA, Sacramento. Where else did I apply? San Diego. And I got accepted into all of them. And I realized I want to stay in Bakersfield. I want to stay where home is. The valley holds my family, my community, my faith, and the people who shape me, who I am. In terms of the future, I just graduated with my bachelor's, and I feel like if there are possibly any job opportunities or educational opportunities that need me to go somewhere up north or out of the state, I definitely would wait on it and just wait for the right time for it, just because I feel like this is where home is for me. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that.
Love that.
I also like that, Caitlin. Just because even though at your age, you have already made that mature decision to know what exactly home is. I'm not saying that others may not have felt that, but it's more because they are maybe more adventurous, which is why like Jill wanted to experience that, which is also, the best thing to be able to have the courage. Because sometimes, like, it's also hard to go into a big city knowing that you don't have that experience yet. And with Caitlin, home for you is where your family is at. And so same with me. I think that's where you and I, we have the vine attached to both of us. Because like Melvi and Jill, they're like city girls, and here we are, we're just more like, hey, we're the Valley girls. But now, right now, we're all
We're all Valley girls.
yeah, you are Valley girls. But yes, and that's the other thing. Maybe for me too is like fear of the unknown. I'm such a big thinker. Like I feel like when I think of one thing, it opens up to so many things that comes into my mind that I'm like, things could be just this, but then all of a sudden I think of a lot of things that could happen, and maybe that could be it too. Like just not having that courage to just like be out there and try it. But who knows, right? We may never know.
Yeah, and I do want to add though, we're not discouraging anyone who wants to leave the valley and wants to find themselves somewhere in the Bay, somewhere up north, somewhere out of the state, out of the country. We actually encourage, finding yourself, finding where your place is. But home is there. Home is never going to completely disappear from your self-image or who you are as a person. Home is always going to be there. And if you feel like you want to go back home, that's totally up to you. And if you want to leave home and find another place that screams home to you, we encourage that. And everybody's going at their own pace in life. If you want to stay, if you want to go, that's totally up to you. And you all just go at your own pace.
Yes. One thing that we encourage you never to do is never compare. I think Jill mentioned this in some of our episodes, that she said everybody's time is going to be different. Everybody's experiences will be different. We can never be on the same page with anybody, even though sometimes we love our loved ones and we don't want to leave them behind, but there are times it's best to let go and experience it yourself. See, with me, Melanie and I are complete opposite. We're only 2 years apart, but even though we have so many similarities when it comes to this, though, we're complete opposite, because she knows I'm spontaneous, I am adventurous, I love it when I don't know what's going to happen next because I'm all about trying. I just want to dive into it. But here's the from our episode last week, Jill mentioned the 5 pillars that we have to consider, especially if we're still young and we're trying to decide what our future will look like. So we have to be prepared physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and above all, because life is getting more and more expensive, financially. But if you think about it, if you move to another place and if you don't have any relatives who can help you out, you have to be able to find a place where you can rent. You have to have a stable job. So all these factors that we need to consider must be in a plan, or maybe journalize it or have a list when you're already making that plans. That way, especially whether you're young, you're still trying to pursue education, or even when you want to move to another city or state or country for educational purposes, there is completely nothing wrong with that. Because again, the more we learn, the more we grow. And we have so many resources, tools, and we have friends and loved ones who will be there to support and guide us. And above all, also, when you pray and ask, there's nothing wrong with asking for it. And if it's meant for you, no matter what happens, it will be meant for you. Maybe the time is not today, but maybe in 5 or 10 years when you're, let's say, financially stable. And life is, I think I didn't say it right from the beginning. Life is about the journey, not the destination. So wherever we are, as long as we have the capability to meet all challenges and prepare for that, it doesn't matter where we are in our lives.
I
Now-
do want to add
Yes.
though, like many of our parents and grandparents who actually came here, some of them, they didn't know what to expect. So
Yes.
if they didn't have that courage, we will not be here, because there are those who came here with nothing. Nobody even knew about what they're going to expect. And I think, if they didn't come here, we wouldn't be here and our faith wouldn't be here. Otherwise, if they just stayed where they're at, then they won't be able to experience the life here.
I
Like,
think we're already to the we're already to the next segment,
oh,
which is all about timing. Now I want to go back to Jill. She was 17 when she left. I wouldn't. I don't know. I think I'll be I'll be
She's
That's
very
scared.
courageous.
She's very courageous.
Actually,
did
if my
say
mom
that
is
before.
watching, she left. She left when she was only 6. She left her home when she was only 16 to go to University of the Philippines to study. And ever since then, she's been away and across the ocean, across a state, across the country, across thousands and thousands of miles away. So when I look back, being the oldest, I said, "Wow, my mom has actually been more away from her whole family and the Philippines where she was born. She actually has lived almost all of her entire life in abroad. So that alone, like what Melanie said, expect the unexpected. Our parents, they will do whatever it takes for us, their children, to have a good and bright future. So Jill, when did you or how did you know it was the right time to leave at 17? I'm just curious.
It's funny you mentioned that because my mom, now that you mentioned your mom, my mom actually left the Philippines at 19 to work abroad in Europe. So she
Oh
lived in
wow.
Italy since she was 19 for a few years, and then moved to Canada. So maybe it's just it's just meant to be. So but to answer your question, the first time when I was 17, I probably wasn't ready mentally. I thought I was, because when you're young, and Melvie, I'm sure you can relate to, when you just want something, you're just so adamant about it. And I think that's what really was my drive to really work so hard in school, just to get accepted to a college and to move away, because then I had a reason to. And I thought that I initially wanted to go into nursing. And one thing that if there's anybody that is in the younger generations that are even thinking about moving, or wanting to experience life outside, even if you're not in the valley and want to go leave the nest and want to spread your wings and branch out, I would say no, or leave for the right reasons. If your intentions are to leave for the wrong reasons, just try to identify what you're leaving for. And like Melvie said, it's about the journey, but also make sure that you have the strong pillars mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. We're not going to be perfect forever, but if you feel confident in those types of areas, I feel like I wasn't truly ready, which is why I ended up coming back 4 times. And then I rushed every single time to leave, because I don't want to say I left for the wrong reasons, but I felt like I was more chasing something as opposed to, for something else. And then when I came back, every single time, it was always for like a reset. It was always to come back home for, because this was my safe space. And I feel like it always delayed the process a little bit more, because I had so much sense of pride, thinking like, oh, I'm never going to move back. Like, I'm not going to leave here. And I've said that every single time, every time. I'm never moving back home. And here I am, and I love it. I can't picture myself leaving anytime soon, because I've always been such an extrovert, and that drive and spontaneity. But then I do now enjoy, like, being at home. I'm such a homebody now, and the slower pace, and just enjoying life in that kind of sense, and the simple things. But I would say the timings weren't always the best, but I would have never known that. And one thing I am very grateful, or two things, are my family, my parents, for always being very supportive. They've never forced me into like, oh, you have to stay, or you have to leave, or you have to come home. They were always very supportive of that. And I'm very grateful for that. And then also with the resources, and then, my faith. So even though I was far away and away from my family, the one thing that I always had was, of course, still going to church in different locales and being registered in different areas, but also just, when I'm alone, literally alone, where there's no one else to have to call to, or even just to lean on, it was always my faith every single time. So no matter what, but I would say if anybody is thinking about moving, just definitely make sure that you're leaving for the right reasons.
That's a good point. That's a very, very good point, because I have had some friends who left for either a significant other or other reasons other than what if they were actually really ready to move. And it panned out. It worked out well for them, and some failed. So they learned from that. And each of us, our experiences will all be different, but at the end of the day, we have to learn from all of our experiences. Now, before we go to the next segment, or the last segment that we will be discussing, let's take a break. The Vine chat is flooding right now. So Caitlin, Melanie, and Jill, please help me read some of those comments, because I think some of them actually shared their own personal experiences living in the Valley and what they love about this place. So go ahead, Caitlin. Go ahead, go first.
I think one of the first comments that stood out to me was from Flo Alejandro Guillermo saying, moving is a big decision, so pray for it. All will go well. There will be times it isn't perfect, but that will be your time to grow and explore. And I completely agree. We have Omel. She is from Bakersfield, but she used to live in New York. And she says, I had to grasp the concept of when you're faced with a choice in life, always choose the one that will promote your personal growth instead of taking the easy way, which is such a great thing to say. Thank you so much for promoting personal growth and communication. And we have Brother Kenneth calling saying, good evening to everyone. Moving out of Hawaii made me realize how big the world truly is. And our very own Sister Terry Soriano saying, at one point in my life, I moved also, but the brethren where I moved to were very welcoming and made me feel at home. They invited me to things like their homes and their birthday parties, and I felt so loved, which is so great to hear. Thank you all so much for sharing. Jill, Melanie, do you see anything in the Vine chat?
I definitely do. I do want to call out my sister because we both moved out. So my sister said she moved out of the Valley for 15 years to Orange County, but came back to Santa Maria with a husband and 2 kids. So, and me and my sister lived together. So I kind of followed her footsteps. She went to Cal State Fullerton. I went to Cal State Fullerton. Then we lived together for I don't know how long. So shout out to my sister because we both left and then we both came back. So now we're here. And Brother Mark as well, he said, leaving the Valley was hard, but left to be able to live with the love of his life. So,
Aww.
What about you, Melanie?
See, sometimes it works out. We find the loves of our lives somewhere
may
out
never
there
know.
over the rainbow. You'll never know. Melanie found hers in the Valley.
Oh, that's true.
I didn't get so lucky. I didn't get so lucky like her. I'm just kidding. Okay, Melanie, what about you?
I just want to say a shout out to all those who are joining us. I'm just going to read their names. We have Aldo Eugenio, Dania Glipa, Julia, of course. We also have William Dorsey, Louis Angeles, Veronica De La Rosa, our district minister, Kaisayas Antinu, Tita Josie, Omel Ellison, Romel Bautista, Alfredo Tolentino, Maricel Galang, Mino, Sonia Puno, Michael Guerrero, and Mario Oka, Marisa Nofuente. We have a lot of new ones that I'm seeing here. And thank you so much again for joining us.
Oh yeah, Brother Michael. He used to
be
Brother Michael Guerrero. He's a minister. I think he's in I don't remember. District of Northeast, I believe. He used to be from the Valley. Hello, Brother Michael. Hope you're doing well over there. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, and Kenneth Colling, of course, is here greeting us. Good evening to everyone. Moving out of Hawaii made me realize how big the world truly is.
I see.
And Eric Melchor is also here. Thank you.
hello,
again.
hello. Yeah, I don't remember. Did somebody mention something about with Omel's comment?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I know brother Danny Aglipa mentioned something about he's been here for I can't find it. He's been here for quite some time and he loves the valley. Oh, here. Oh no.
Shout out
Who
Marissa
is it?
Nofonte. Thank you for always tuning in. Hi, T.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much, and go ahead and continue to leave your comments and your insights and your own personal experiences so everybody who's watching this can learn from each one of us. Now, the last segment is all about the reason or the why. I'm going to ask Jill again because, again, she has the most experience among all of us leaving the valley. Jill, why did you come back? And before you answer that question, would you consider leaving again?
That's a great question. So I would say the first one would be, well, I mentioned I moved out for multiple different reasons, but I always came back for the same reason. And that was to reset, to just slow time down a little bit. And again, I'm very grateful that I always had my family to just come back home to, no matter where I was, whatever point in my life it was. I just felt like it was just, I just need to slow down a little bit. I just need to regroup. And what I love is if you've ever been to Santa Maria congregation, like everybody just greets you, even when I would visit here and everybody just greets you and just is just so loving. And so, it was always so nice to come back to that. And I loved it. It was just very welcoming, very homey. And that's when I knew that I just needed to just slow down and just reset and come back to my family and just, get away from the city for a little bit and figure things out. But I would say at this point of my life right now, I do want to, but from my learning experiences is to not rush into it. I definitely wouldn't move probably back to Southern California, which I love. I love visiting all the time. Love it. It has a big part of my life into it, but I really want to move overseas. I really want to move to like Europe or something and just explore again for the same reason why. But I do eventually want to. One, because I work from home. I'm single with no kids, obviously. So it would be a good time. I feel like I do have those 5 pillars, but do I want to right now? Maybe not, just because I feel like I've built, really good community. I have my family here. I'm able to, watch my nieces grow up as well. My sister's back here as well. So I do eventually, but if I would anytime soon, probably not. But it's got to be the right time at the right place. So I'll continue to pray for it, or pray on it. But as of right now, I love Valley Grown. I love being here. I love tuning in with everybody on Friday night. So it'd be a little bit different if I was tuning in from Europe and totally different time zone. But as of right now, probably not.
I think I heard you, if I'm not mistaken, you did say you're still single, right?
Yes.
I think even Caitlin is also still single. So that means if they find somebody in the valley, they will be in the valley for the rest of their lives, maybe. Caitlin, how do you respond to that?
Hey, everybody.
I'm gonna leave Jill alone for now.
Wait,
I think I said
that
what
is
I
watching.
wanted to say. But yes, Caitlin, if you were to move, I'm just curious, if in case you were to move and given, let's say, an opportunity, okay, because I know that your career is one that I know can help so many lives out there. And I do have some friends who love to travel and they have the same career path as you do. Would you, if you would consider leaving, where would that be? And why?
Well, that's a great question. That
No,
I
she
don't
hasn't
have
thought
the answer
about
to
it.
right now. Honestly, if
All right.
if I move somewhere else and I am considering um coming back home, I'm open to whatever God leads me. I'm open to whatever paths come my way, but as of right now, I don't feel the urge to leave just for the sake of leaving. If I go anywhere, like what Jill said, it will be with intention and purpose and for the right reasons. I will set everything before me, talk to my parents, talk to God through prayer. And I'm not going to or in a way, I'll carry the valley wherever I go with me, whether it is overseas, whether it's in the States, whether it's 2 hours up north, all the way in LA. Right now, I'm in a way I'm at peace being here and growing right here in the Central Valley. So even if I do leave, I'm always going to bring home with me.
You know what's the best part about our faith is everywhere we go in the entire world, we have local congregations.
Yes,
And
absolutely. Hmm.
Melanie, I know
Bahamas.
you haven't left the valley. So is this it? Is this your favorite one compared to Philippines? Where is it? Baguio, Pangasinan in the Philippines, Saipan, Guam. Is this it? Is this your
But
favorite one?
if I was to move, I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna be here forever because you just don't know. You just don't
Yeah.
know where God will
Absolutely.
lead you, right?
Yeah.
And who knows, like if my children grows up and they get married and they live somewhere else and they want me to be the babysitter, we just don't know. But I would like to be able to travel, not and then just come back home. So I could at least experience, like going someplace, maybe stay there for a little bit, maybe when I retire, and then come back here and just be at home, like Jill, reset, and then travel again.
Yeah, we'll tag
But
along with Jill.
yeah,
We'll pick on her itinerary, and next
Yes,
time
please.
we'll
yes,
go to her. We'll
Along.
go with her.
forever.
Girls trip.
Yes,
Take a
valley
trip.
grown travel,
Yes.
right?
I
And
love
then we'll vlog our travels on our satellites. I think that would be a great idea. Now, before we close, I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple of seconds to go ahead and do your shout outs. Wow, time flies so fast. Okay, go ahead.
I
Any
want
of
to
you?
say a shout out to my family. I do love being here in the valley, and I do love everybody here in the valley. And I want to just, thank you for always being there supporting us, especially in our INC Radio Central Valley, California. Please continue to support us.
Yes.
Go ahead, Caitlin. Or Jill, yes, go ahead.
Oh, Jill, do you want to go first?
Go ahead. You go for it, Caitlin. Go for it.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay. I just want to shout out, thank you everybody for supporting Valley Grow. None of this will be possible without everyone tuning in. I would like to shout out my family, my friends who are in California, who are in the Philippines, who are tuning in from all around the world. Thank you so much for the support.
Thank you, everybody on Valley Grown for always tuning with us every Friday night, whether you're new here or have been listening since, last year. And also shout out to my parents. Tomorrow is their 45th wedding anniversary. So
Oh, happy
parents,
anniversary.
I mentioned them on the call, and shout out to my family and everybody in the local of Santa Maria. So thank you for tuning in.
I still have to visit Santa Maria. All right,
Yes,
thank you so much. And of course, before we do our closing or before we end the show, we will never forget those who are behind the scenes and across the country or all over the world who continuously help us, especially in the church administration. Our spiritual leaders, beginning with our INC radio station manager, Brother Wally Tarai, our deputy executive minister, Brother Angelo Iranio Manalo, and also our executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Thank you so much for all that you do and for your support in all of our episodes and broadcasts all over the world. Listeners and viewers, we cannot thank you enough. And if it's not too much to ask, if you know of anyone who can benefit this show about this topic, especially when it comes to our loved ones and friends, go ahead and share this link and also like, share, and subscribe so you will never ever miss any of our episodes. Here on Valley Grown, home is where our faith lives. Till next time, this is Melvi. We're signing off. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend and see you again next week, only here on Valley Grown, presented by Central Valley, California. Kuya Tech, thank you. Good night.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.